Hello and welcome. And let's just get things clear first. I think this needs clear. My opinion on GW changing their IP is always just going to be the same. It's their IP. It doesn't really bother me. Okay, it's not that I'm a big fan. Not a big fan. You get you're not a big fan. No, it doesn't really bother me because it's not my IP. I'm not that creator, so it has very little influence on my life outside of anything else. And secondly, before anyone says I'm a leftard or a bigot, I just don't care. Honestly, I know I'm a customer, and if I want it, I'll buy it. If I don't want it, I won't buy it. I'm never going to be one of these people that's, new model, I got to buy it. Or I don't like this, I got to boycott it, which we'll bring up in later in the video anyway. Anyway, female Space Marines. Now, this is why I don't like it. Now, it's nothing to do with inclusivity, not even the gene side of it, the gene suit side of it, okay? So, here's the thing. Space Marines are superhuman. They have lots of organs, implants, etc. That's what makes them special. Now, in the new Horus Heresy rulebook, they removed a lot of the gendered language. Now, I don't know why. I'm not going to speculate, because if you go back to the Rogue Trader days and Rogue Trader rulebook, you will also see that the gendered language isn't in the Space Marine part of it. I think there's only one mention of gendered language, and that's once, and then one paragraph explaining about us. I think it was a chapter master or something like that. And under the Astartes part, it literally never mentions him, his, or anything like that. There's no gender in it. Anyway, here's the thing. Games Workshop 140,000 has Sisters of Battle. Now, Sisters of Battle are objectively better than Space Marines. Let me explain why. Now, yes, Space Marines are stronger, they are smarter, they are lots and lots and lots of things better than Sisters of Battle. Now, why are Sisters of Battle objectively better? Is because they can do a lot of the things that Space Marines can do without the extra organs, without the extra stimulants, without the extra hormones. They can do the same things a lot of the time. There's some things they can't do, obviously. And there's a lot of things that Power Armor does, because, it absolutely adds on to their strength. But they don't have those extra doodads. They don't have those extra organs. Now, if we take this into the real world, into our life at the moment, and you see two runners. One is hopped up on steroids, and the other one is not. The one hopped up on steroids wins. The one who isn't is second. You would say the one who came second is the better runner, because they came second. Because they didn't need the extra bits and pieces. They didn't need the steroids to boost them. So making female steroids is making a subpar Sister of Battle, because they need extra bits and pieces to be better than the Sisters of Battle. And that is my main argument against it. The other thing about it is that when they come, and mark my words, they will come, when they reveal the two missing Primarchs, we'll find out they're both women, we're going to see the big boycotts happening again now. Here's the thing about the big boycotts. They never do anything. Seriously. They don't. I'm not saying they don't work, by the way. I'm saying the boycotters don't do anything. They don't even boycott properly. Right? And you'll get arguments like, you can't keep buying and playing, so they don't win. It's like, if you're boycotting, you stop playing, you stop buying, you stop 3D printing. You don't interact with the company at all, or anything they produce. You boycott, you stop completely. And so when female Sisters of Battle you'll get all the usual boycotting. And you'll get them buying them, because they will. And then you got the other side who will actively promote them as something great, even though they're not. Like I said, they're just going to be subpar Sisters of Battle, because they're all roided up. Sisters of Battle, more or less, where, Sisters of Battle aren't roided up and they are just completely badass. And yeah, so you're going to dilute the Sisters of Battle at the same time, making, they're just going to be non-existent, because why would they need to exist? And then you're going and by way again, surpass Sisters of Battle. And then you're just going to get people actively promoting them and calling everyone against them a bigot. And then everyone who likes them and says, oh, actually, these models are kind of cool, I kind of like them, and not actually have a political affiliation towards them. You know, they just think they're cool models. Absolutely fine stance to take. I just, I like the models. That's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that opinion. I mean, yeah, they might be bad looking, but you might still like them. Hey, just because something's bad doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. And then you'll be called, left hard, blah, 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 blah. And I think that would just be the other part of it. It's not going to hurt Games Workshop. How even this sort of negative commentary, which you get, tends to do well for Games Workshop. The old expression, there's no such thing as bad publicity, does stick into mind. Anyway, so when Female Sisters of Battle do happen, and yes, they will be happening pretty soon, I would reckon 2 years at most, it's not going to hurt Games Workshop like people think it will. Like I said, it's going to get a lot of publicity. But a lot of people are going to focus on the wrong things. They can say, oh, great, now we're not equal. It's like, no, you've made lesser Sisters of Battle. Like, they're not as good. But they're stronger, yes, but they need steroids and hormones and everything else to help them be better. You see? They're not... When a normal human in the science fiction universe, it doesn't matter which one, pulls off stunts and traits which are absolutely fantastic. This is why Batman is my favourite DC superhero. He literally goes toe-to-toe with superhumans. And he's just a dude in a bat suit. That's why I like him. He's a human. He doesn't have a powering. He isn't from Krypton. He's a dude. And I always prefer that. And to me, it makes him better than Superman. Because he's willing to do these things and, go beyond his limits. Sorry, I just had to quote Black Clover there. And again, this is the same with the Sisters of Battle. Any female Space Marine will be just a subpar Sisters of Battle. Female Space Marine will just be a subpar Sisters of Battle because yes, they are going to be stronger, but they're going to need the extra help of organs and hormones. Anyway, so that's pretty much just my stance on this opinion. What do you guys think? Hope you all have a lovely day. If you wish to save some money on your wargaming, don't forget to check out Railing Games down below. It's one of the cheapest third-party shops I know. Seriously, £125 for the Saturnine box. It's even got me tempted. I still don't like the Saturnine models, so no, not going to buy it. And free delivery after £20. There is also Forbidden Planet comics, DVDs, mangas, etc. There's Skyforge, good friend of mine. Let's get him up the Google algorithm. I do not get paid to promote him. He's a good friend of mine. There is also my merchandise as well. That's all in the bio down below, in the links. The links are there. And Patreon because business. Bye-bye.